3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are coming to you to talk about why there are more requirements for FHA and VA loans versus cash or conventional. I'm Belinda Sawyer with Welcome Home Pam and Belinda, and Pam cannot make it today, so welcome Katie Bennet with Cross Country Mortgage.
Hello.
She's a preferred lender and has lots of valuable information for us today. So anyways, we have our trusty notes for us that we will probably go off script, but at least we have our...
We don't lose focus. We know what we're doing.
We don't lose focus. So, I guess, tell us why it's so confusing for buyers and sellers. Why do you think FHA, VA can throw buyers and sellers off as far as what's...
I feel a lot of times, like when a seller hears FHA or VA, they're going to think, oh my gosh, we have to do more work to the house. The loan approval is going to be harder. The people aren't going to get approved. So we get that a lot. There's a lot of discussion on the FHA versus VA versus conventional. All of the loans are amazing, and I really think FHA and VA, I mean, we need those products. We need VA for our veterans.
Right.
We need FHA for lower down payment, first-time home buyers. Conventional, those are just also great loans. So I just think you shouldn't be scared when you hear FHA or VA.
Or think like, I know that, and this is probably going off script, but like even certain sellers are like, oh, I don't want to go FHA, VA because there might be certain repairs, which we can go into that later. But I feel like they just don't know exactly what it means. Right. And if you've been keeping your house up enough.
Yes. I mean, if you do just the normal maintenance, you know.
There's nothing to be scared about.
Right. If your handrail falls off your deck or your stairs, just replace your handrail. I mean, if you do your normal maintenance on your house.
It shouldn't be a scary.
It shouldn't be scary at all.
I would agree. So let's start first of all with introducing everybody to what, how the loans differ. So tell me what your thoughts are on differing between cash, conventional, and then the FHA and VA.
So on cash, you don't need a loan. So it doesn't even
so
require.
It
doesn't even require
$200,000 you can go buy.
Yeah, you can go buy $200,000. Or so if you're paying cash, you don't have to worry about an appraisal at all. Conventional, those loans are typically more for people that have a higher down payment, higher credit scores, lower debt to income ratios, that type of thing. And conventional appraisals, they're just going to support the value. Okay. That's what what appraisers are looking for. Right. They just want to support the value. Okay. When you get into like a VA loan, you can do 100% financing on a VA loan. Wow. FHA, you can do 3.5% down. So those are obviously for veterans, more for first-time home buyers, higher debt to income ratios. But the difference is on conventional versus the FHA or VA. FHA and VA, they're backed by the government. So the government just has a few more things they want looked at to make sure they're buying a home that's, safe and sound.
I think one of the things that I actually learned right when I started once I became a real estate agent is FHA, you hear that and you're like, oh, I've already used my first time home buyer loan. But isn't it like every 3 years that you can
No.
Or what is the qualification on that?
You can do an FHA loan anytime. Okay. You can't have 2 FHA loans. Okay. Unless you're traveling, say you're being transferred to Wyoming from California.
To move for your primary.
Then you can have 2 FHA loans if you're not wanting to sell your other one. Okay. So you can do FHA anytime. It's the FHA, like WCDA, the first time home buyer portion of it. To do the first time home buyer part, again, you have to have not owned a home for 3 years. Okay. So that's the biggest. So you can do FHA, you can buy a house, sell it tomorrow. Yeah. Do another FHA loan.
Okay. Yep. Does all FHA loans have the PMI?
They do.
Private mortgage insurance, just because of the low down payment.
Yep. Right. Okay. Yep. Because of the lower down payment, again, being backed by the government. Okay. On an FHA loan that is for 30 years, the PMI never goes away like it does on conventional.
Oh, it doesn't?
Doesn't. It does go away if you do, and I would have to double check this because guidelines can change. If you do 15-year mortgage, then the FHA, the private mortgage insurance, does go away after 11 years.
Oh, I didn't realize
So
that.
you still have it. Even if you do 20% down on FHA, you still have the private mortgage insurance.
You never, whereas conventional, if you have PMI, you can, after a certain amount of time.
Yep, after a certain amount of time, you can get rid of it. If you do 20% down, there's ways to pay the PMI up front.
Okay.
So there's several better options on conventional to get rid of the PMI.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. FHA and VA loans are designed to help more people become homeowners, especially first-time buyers and veterans. Why is that?
Because they often have lower down payment requirements. VA, you don't have to have any money down. You do have to come up with your closing costs unless you agree, or the seller agrees to pay those for you. FHA, you only have to have 3.5% down. So that's why those are better for first-time home buyers and veterans.
Which it's crazy how many people don't realize, because you hear online even, like, I don't have $50,000 to put down on a house.
Right.
It's like, oh, you've never purchased a house. You can be a first-time
Yes.
home buyer. It's 3%.
3.5%, or if you do the first-time home buyer program, if you fall into those guidelines, there's specific, income requirements and that type of thing. You can do as little as $1,500 down.
Oh my gosh, which is wild.
Yeah,
So it shows you can get into a house,
Yep.
not have to put it down a bunch of money. You can pay.
And even on conventional, you
It's-
don't have to do 20% down.
It's just for the
You can do
PMI.
5% down. You can do 3% down if you're a first-time home buyer. So there's different options.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
awesome. Because
Yep.
I mean, it seems like it makes it
Well, and the
easier to get into a
rates,
home than people think.
for sure. And the rates on the FHA and VA are typically lower than conventional as well. So
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Appraisals versus inspection. What's different?
So on FHA and VA, the appraiser is actually looking for safety and soundness of the home. They're going to look at roof. Do you have a leaky roof? Do you have exposed electrical wires? Missing handrails, chipped and peeling paint.
The chipped and peeling paint. Oh my gosh, that's like, and it's such an easy one to quick.
It is.
Like, oh, quick, even before you list, quick go on your door frames. And, which you should do it even on conventional, I feel like.
You should.
Like, some of the minor repairs.
It's more curb appeal too.
Right.
So,
So,
I would.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Because they're backed by the government, FHA and VA, they're going to look for more of those safety hazards.
Okay.
Where conventional, they're not looking at that because they're just trying to support the value of the home.
Okay.
I mean, on conventional though, if you pull up to the home and the roof's caved in, they're obviously going to call for that.
Right.
But at first glance, if the roof looks okay,
then it's
Then,
going to be. Well, and I feel like.
and even
Oh,
even
go
on
ahead.
conventional, you can still get inspections.
Yeah.
The appraiser's just not going to require them.
Right. So this
So
is
as-
just to keep it clear, because it is
Right.
confusing.
Yeah.
Like, we always tell you to get inspections, but the appraiser inspection is completely different than your overall home inspection, your plumbing,
Yes.
electrical,
Yep.
all of that. It's like, it's because they are looking for different, things that I guess are required. And I feel like to pinpoint exactly what an appraiser is going to find changes
Well, and
with the appraiser.
It does. And a lot of times, the appraisers, they're not licensed plumbers.
Right.
They're not licensed roofers. They're not licensed electricians. So they're looking to see if something's obvious. If your outlet's missing and there's wires sticking out, or if you pull up and there's shingles missing on the roof, or if you can see a water heater leaking, then obviously the appraiser's going to call for an inspection on that. They're not going to call for the repair because they want a licensed person to look at it to say, hey, that's fine, or no, we need that fixed.
Right.
So the appraiser does look for things, but they're not licensed in each
area.
each profession. So
Which makes, that makes sense.
so they're looking for obvious things, like the handrail. If you're missing handrail, if there's a step missing on a deck, or I've seen it all.
Yeah,
So-
one of the townhouses I sold, that was ours, and we'd had a tenant in there that did not take care of it. And whoever laid the tile, like when we bought it, probably was a DIY person. But the appraiser walked on the tile, and so it kind of moved, and they called that out.
Because that's a safety.
So that's
they'll
safety,
require that to be fixed, but they won't require you to get Lowe's to come out and put in all new flooring.
Right. So
They
it's
will
just that
require that safety issue
Okay.
to be, like that tile to be.
Yeah. Which we had to end up
fixed.
doing the whole kitchen,
Yeah.
which was fine because I think one thing led to another. I know there was a
Right.
broken outdoor light fixture, so of course that had to be fixed. And then, you know how you can paint over tile in your bathroom,
Mhm.
whoever had it before painted over the tile, and that was coming
It
off.
was coming off.
So they
Okay.
called out that we just had to repaint it.
Yeah,
So I mean that just shows it's like it's kind of your deferred maintenance. A lot of
it is.
some of it's deferred maintenance.
And like you
safety,
mentioned,
I guess.
some appraisers will call for different things than others, but
Yeah.
most of them follow this is what they're looking for. This
Yeah.
is what each loan requires, each inspection.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean I guess it has to make you feel good because they're looking
It
out for
does.
your best interest.
yep, they're definitely looking at more than on a conventional loan
Right.
because there's just different requirements. They're just supporting the value.
Okay. That sounds good.
There are on conventional, before I forget, there's conditions on an appraisal like C1, C2, C3,
Mhm.
4, 5. If it comes back in the worst condition as a lender, say it's C5,
Mhm.
we have to have at least, I believe it's C4 or better. So that's
Okay.
something to keep in mind on conventional too. A lot of times they don't call for anything, but if the condition comes back and it's just horrible,
Then they
you
will
will
call.
have to do
Okay.
some things. Like we had
That's good to
chickens
know.
in a house one time.
Oh my
They
gosh.
lived in the house. And
You
they
did
had,
personally?
as a on a loan. Yes, the seller.
I didn't know you
the
could map out chickens.
No, the seller had chickens
Okay.
in their house, and the chickens destroyed the house. I mean, the carpet was not livable.
That's gross.
So even on a conventional loan, that did have to be brought up to at least condition
They
that
had
can
to
be
go in.
lended on.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were doing cash,
Then who cares? Because
Doesn't
nobody
matter.
is. And even with cash, you're not, most of those, unless they want it, they don't necessarily get them appraised.
right?
Like a lot of people that they don't want to spend the extra money on
They
getting
don't want
appraised.
to, especially if it's being sold as is.
Yeah.
Why waste your money on
Exactly.
the appraisal because they're not going to fix anything.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So
Awesome. Let's see what else we have here. So basically, I know a lot of the rumor which we brought up initially was for sellers it's scary to list your house FHA VA because you think there could be all this extra expense, which honestly, I mean I've heard of some actually it's probably more VA buyers. Like we'll come in and we're gonna help paint the trim, and I know you've experienced that,
yes,
or you've probably painted trim
I've painted
yourself
trim
just to get it
fences
done.
Or
But there's nothing like super scary about
there's nothing
the
scary.
loan process, or it's.
No.
I mean, the buyer's being protected, but even the sellers.
Well,
it's-
and honestly, like the property conditions themselves, they're not scary. And a lot of times the buyers are more qualified and VA buyers, I know people see VA and they're like, no, but VA wants a veteran in a home.
Mhm.
So getting a VA borrower approved is honestly sometimes a lot easier than an FHA or conventional.
Because they want them in there. And
The VA
Yeah.
wants you to do as much as you can to get a veteran in the home,
Okay.
if possible.
Which is cool
Yeah.
since we live in a military town.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah,
I
we have
like
a
to
base
see.
a
Yeah,
couple
we
miles away. So.
always have military clients.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that they work extra hard, I guess,
Yeah.
to get them in there. So, is it smart to just wait and buy your first home because interest rates are high, or like there's
Homes are high.
homes are high. We
No.
don't like the interest rate. What is your opinion on that?
I personally don't think it's a good time to wait.
Yeah.
Houses are always going to appreciate in value. So even if rates are high right now, you can get the home you want
Mm-hmm.
and refinance later.
Right.
You're
'Cause
not
what's
married,
gonna happen?
You're not married to your rate.
Right, because once the
So-
rates come down, which we're all waiting for it, and we were talking
We're
with
all waiting, but
Yeah.
we could wait till we're old.
Old,
I'm
and
not
then
gonna say
we're
how old we are. I almost said till we're 50.
that's several more years.
Yep.
Several more years for all of us. I know we were talking with Tara, like when I bought my first home,
Yes.
I was not worried about interest rate, at least I mean, it was only a
wasn't.
few years ago when I was that young.
Yes,
But, like,
me
I
too.
just was more about, I want my first home. We also had it to where it had a rental, like a basement apartment with it. The payment, as long as you can afford the payment, obviously,
And that's what I looked at.
was your payment
The
amount.
price and the rate are scary if you look at that.
Right.
If you look at your payment and what you can afford monthly, focus on that. If you want a house, you want a house.
Right. And why
So-
not get a house sooner
Yes.
so you're paying yourself, your
Yeah.
own house down
Yes.
versus, like,
versus a
your
landlord.
yeah. You're just paying someone else's mortgage, which
And you're not stuck
as a
in
landlord,
the loan
that's
for
great.
30 years. So you can refinance, you can sell, you can.
Yep.
There's so many options. I wouldn't wait.
And waiting also, like, once the interest rates drop for whatever people are waiting for, guess what? You're going to have multiple offers.
You're going to have multiple offers. You're
like
not gonna get
2020,
your house.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
You're going to get super frustrated, and then by that
You're
time
gonna
your
give
rent's...
up on the process.
Yeah, and then you're like, I
because-
only have a month, so I might as well sign another year lease.
Right.
And
And
then you are
when you sign the
paying-
year lease, it's back up.
Exactly.
So I
Now's
personally,
the
I
time.
wouldn't wait. I think now is the time.
And we would love to help you with that, because obviously I can help show homes, have
Yep.
lots of information for you on that.
Yep. And we have,
Um,
besides cash,
yeah.
conventional, FHA, VA, we have hundreds of products. I wouldn't say hundreds, but tons of different
Products.
options for different circumstances.
well, and you with Cross Country Mortgage, which is a great mortgage company,
Yep.
And you're local. I
Yes.
always like having a local
Local.
lender, and Katie will answer your phone call weekends, evenings, nights. If not, text her.
I
She'll
only
get back
give
with
out
you.
my cell phone number, so
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so it's like you don't have to wait through the weekend to see if you're approved,
yes.
or to get some questions answered, or yeah, I love it because I can. If somebody fills out the quick application, like that day, they're like, oh,
Right.
I'm qualified for this, or I better not be looking at that home because we don't want to waste each other's time.
Exactly. And
So-
I want to do that too. I want you to get approved right away because I would hate for someone to fall in love with a home and then it's, $1,000 a month over their budget.
Right.
Or
Do you
So-
help people that if they're not approved for a loan now, do you help with credit? Getting their
absolutely
credit up?
looking
Do
at
you have
credit,
programs for
looking
that?
at if you need longer time on the job or self-employed, that's a huge thing. We have several options for that because a lot of self-employed people, they're going to write off all their income
Yeah.
because, for taxes. So we have tons of programs out there.
Good.
Yeah,
So you're the one
Yeah.
to call.
I am.
So is there anything else that we missed or that you want to add that we haven't?
No, I was just kind of looking like people think FHA, VA take forever to close.
Mhm.
They don't. The longest process of any loan is getting an appraisal back. And that's been very quick. VA gives appraisers 10 business days,
Okay.
which really isn't that long.
Yeah.
So,
And it seems like since the market's not super, super busy
Yeah.
right now, the appraisers can get out there.
yeah.
Now, I did
Okay.
try a VA assumable loan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we were 3 months in the process.
I've heard.
And then they wanted our
not.
blood sample
Yes.
and whatever. Finally, we're like, never mind.
I have heard
So that was kind of a nightmare.
not the best things about those, but
I've heard up to like at least 6 months.
right. Well, and then
So-
people coming up with the additional down payment.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I have actually found a bank that will help with that,
Okay.
but they still require you to have 10% or more down.
So then
So it's not
ends
ideal
up not
for
working.
yeah.
Cool. Well, we hope that this helped all y'all. If you have any questions, let us know. But once again, I'm Belinda Sawyer with REMAX Capitol Properties. If you ever have questions, you can always call me at 307-631-5434. And
I'm Katie with Cross Country Mortgage. My number is 307-631-1448. Almost forgot my own phone number. Happy to answer any questions that you have anytime.
awesome. Thank you.